The live is on. I hope everybody's having a good afternoon out there. And pinning my comments here. So we got everything in place. As y'all come in, checking the comment section, let me know who you are and where you are checking in from. And we're gonna get started in one moment. I'm live on Facebook as well, by the way. My Facebook page is Facebook slash work on your game is my Facebook page, and also my Facebook business group with 6 figures and growing. Shout yourselves out in the comment section. Tell me where you're checking in from. We're going to get into this and talk real quick about a way to introduce more urgency. Excuse me. Introduce more urgency into your life, into your business, so you actually get more done. Hope y'all have had a good first week. We are 7 days into 2023. Hope everybody's had a good first week of the year. Hope y'all are getting actually through to your goals and doing the stuff you said you were going to do this year, or at least you got started on doing the stuff you said you were going to do this year. And you might not have finished it yet. For those who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin. I'm a former 9-year pro athlete. I've written 33 books. You can see some on the shelf behind me. I still write all the time. I send out this physical mailing called the Bulletproof Bulletin. You see that one right there? I send it out every single month to everyone who's in my university. Also, the Masterclass Black Book. I just got the first printing of that. This is the Black Book. We send this out every month to everyone who is a member of the university. We just sent the next version to the printer. So that one's going to be coming out for the month of, that's the January one. This is the December one. Every single month, this book is 300 plus pages from the masterclass that we put out every month. So we do a lot of creating over here, work on your game, and giving people the game is really what we do. And this is all about taking the tools to help athletes get to the top 1% in sports, the mindsets and the strategies. And what I've done is create a system that takes those tools from the sports world and we translate them over to the business world. So those of you don't have to be an athlete. This is not for athletes. This is for people who are serious about your profession, serious about your business, and you want to perform at a higher level. You want to be more consistent in your performance, and you want to make more money. If those are 3 things that you're interested in, then Work on Your Game is the place for you. Work on Your Game University is your next step. Actually, your next step is coming to my next event, which is Work on Your Game Live, which is taking place February 3rd and 4th here in Miami, Florida. Your next step after that is joining the university at workonyourgameuniversity.com. And your next thing we're going to do right now, the immediate thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about implementing a structure for urgency into your life and into your business. Because if you are listening to somebody who's talking about working on your game, then I would assume you're serious about getting better. You understand the first word in that is work. So you're willing to do the work. All right. I didn't turn you off by using the word work, and you understand that your game needs to improve if you want your outputs and your results to improve. So we got to figure out how can you get more stuff done, because everybody who I talk to, and I work with people who are just starting out in entrepreneurship and just trying to get their footing and just figure out what they're doing. And I work with professionals who've been in business for years and they're making anywhere from the mid 6 figures up to 7 figures plus every single year. And guess what? One common challenge that all of them have, one thing that they all say, no matter if they're making 40 grand a year or they're making over $1 million a year, one challenge that people always have is they say, Dre, I want to be more productive. I want to get more done on a daily basis. Well, let's think about that. You want to get more done on a daily basis. One thing that we know for sure that I think we all can agree on is that the amount of time you have in a day is not going to change, right? So you got 24 hours in a day. Everybody has 24 hours, no matter how much money you make, what you do with it, you got 24 hours. So since we can't extend how much time you have, the only thing we can change is what you are getting done in the time that we all have as equals. That's the one thing that makes us all equal. We all got 24 hours. So the only thing that can change to increase your productivity is how much you get done in the time that you do have. And one way, this is not the only way, but one way to get more done on a daily basis is for you to have more urgency with the time that you have, such that you can get more done in your time. So instead of it taking you an hour to get something done, how about if you can get it done in 45 minutes? Now you just bought yourself 15 minutes of time. And with that 15 minutes, you can get something else done. Or if instead of an hour, it took you 30 minutes. Or what if instead of an hour, you didn't do it at all? Maybe you could pass that task off to someone or something else, or completely delete that task. And now you got a free hour. And now you can do something that's even more productive that can help you make more money, get more results, get more success, whatever it is that you're trying to get to. Because one thing that I will also say that is a common theme, no matter how much money somebody is making, is everybody wants to make more. I've never had someone come through my university. I've never had someone get coached by me. Even someone who is thinking about being coached by me tell me, Dre, I want to make the exact same amount of money next year that I made last year. I've never heard anybody say that. Every single person, no matter what they're earning, wants to earn more. Every single person, no matter how much they're producing, wants to produce more. I'm not saying every human on the planet wants to do this, because the people who are okay with being okay, they're okay with staying where they're at, they don't come into my world. But the people who get in a conversation with me, they're always looking to go further, harder, better. They want to do more. And I'm assuming that since you're listening to my voice right now, you're one of those people. So let's talk about how to get more urgency, how to implement more urgency into your life. And I want to tell you how to do this in a structured way. So when I say how to get more urgency, I don't mean just get yourself more hyped up, more motivated, more excited. Go watch some motivational speaker on YouTube every morning, and that's going to get you going. I mean, you could do that, and it might work every now and then, but I'm talking about doing it in a way that is kind of more structured and organized. Connection here. All right, I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do that will help increase the urgency put more urgency into your actions on a daily basis, so that you can get more done in the exact same amount of time. Point number 1, first thing you got to do is start watching the clock. Here's a principle that we have over here at Work on Your Game. I'm going to give you this one for free. Principle is, anything that you want to get better at, you need to be watching it. Or you need to be watching anything that you want to get better at. What do I mean by that? Since all of you want to be more productive, everybody wants more productivity, right? If you want to be more productive, that means you're getting more done in the same amount of time, which means you got to pay attention to how you're using time. Simple as that. How many of you are actually tracking how you're using your time? All right, right now I'm recording this. It's 4:17 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. How many of you could tell me exactly what you were doing every half hour on the half hour since you've been awake today? Probably none of you. Are you actually tracking what you're doing with your time? Can you tell me exactly what you did with your time from the time you woke up to the time you went to sleep yesterday? Most of you can't. So here's the interesting thing. You have no idea what you're doing with your time. And then you say, well, hey, I don't have enough time to get done the things that I want to get done. Well, hey, of course you don't have enough time to get done the things you want to get done, because you have no idea what you're doing with your time. Are you tracking your time? Relentless Wealth said, you're tracking your time? Okay. You're one of a few. Are you actually tracking your time? You need to be paying attention to what you're doing with your time. You need to know, all right, what was I doing last Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon? If you have no idea what you were doing with that time, then doesn't it make perfect sense that you don't seem to have enough of it? All right. How many of you pay attention to what you do with all your money? If you pay attention to what you're doing with your money, then you usually end up with more money. You usually end up keeping more money. You usually end up making more money. Why? Because you're paying attention to the money. We all know a simple principle, life principle, is that what you pay attention to expands and what you ignore goes away. So if you pay attention to your time, you usually end up having more time to get things done with, even though you didn't actually get more time. I mean, you still only have 24 hours in a day, whether you pay attention to it or not. But because you're paying attention to it, and you put the most powerful tool known to man, known as the human brain, to action around your time, you usually end up having more of it, and you use it in a more productive way, simply because you're paying attention. When you pay attention, you get better results with anything that you do in life. Like, even if something that you're not even that good at, if you start paying attention, you'll get better at it. Why? Because you're putting the most powerful tool known to man to work, and that's the human brain. So if you want more energy, folks, pay attention to your energy. When is your energy going up? When is your energy going down? If you want more time, pay attention to the time. If you want more money, pay attention to the money. So anything that you want to get better at in life, you need to be paying attention to it. I did an episode on my masterclass. I got a show called Work on Your Game. Some of you call it a podcast. It comes out free every single day on Apple, Spotify, all those podcasting apps. So look it up after you finish watching this live. And I did an episode called Wealth Increasing Principles, Money Increasing Principles. I think it was called Wealth Increasing, but you go listen to it. And one of the things that I said there, the very first point, is that you got to watch the money. If you want to make more money, how many people listening to this, I believe probably all of you, wants to make more money in 2023 than you made in 2022. Here's a simple way to do it. Well, a simple thing to start. Let me say that. Let me not say this is not a foolproof, no guaranteed plan. Well, the first thing you got to do is start paying more attention to the money. You need to be paying attention to every dollar that goes out and every dollar that comes in. You need to be tracking every dollar that goes out and every dollar that comes in. You should be able to look back 6 months ago and tell me exactly what you did with every single dollar that came in. And you should be able to tell me and account for every single dollar that came in, every single dollar that went out. If you can't do that, that means you're not paying enough attention to the money. And that's going to hurt your ability to create wealth and hurt your ability to increase your income because you're not paying attention to it. Your energy. You want to have more energy on a daily basis. You got to pay attention to when your energy is up. When is your energy down? What causes your energy to go up and down? What did you do the day before that led to your energy feeling how it is today? All these things you got to be paying attention to. So when it comes to urgency, again, what we pay attention to increases, what we ignore goes away. Everything should be on the schedule. Remember that what gets scheduled gets done. So anything that you plan on getting done, folks, if it's not on your schedule, then it's probably not going to get done. It's not going to get done consistently if it's not on the schedule. Schedule means not just a list of things that you're going to do, but actually using a calendar. I know what a calendar is, right? Calendar is finite. It tells you have a certain amount of time to get things done. You got to get things done in that timeline. So you're utilizing Parkinson's law. Those of you not familiar with that law, Parkinson's law states that a task will expand or contract given the amount of time available for it. So if you give yourself 2 hours to get something done, usually you will take 2 hours to get it done. If you give yourself 20 minutes to get it done, amazingly, you get it done in 20 minutes. Again, this is the power of the human brain. So you got to give yourself constraints. Constraints equal urgency. Everybody got that? Point number 2. We are talking how to structurally increase urgency in your life. Number 2, you got to strategize for energy. All right, it's hard to be urgent when you have no energy. If you're completely tired or your body just has no fuel to work off of, it's very hard to be urgent in those situations because you have no energy. You have no mental energy. You have no physical energy. This is not a magic trick, everybody. So you see when I'm doing these lives, you see me drinking this water. This water is part of what gives me the energy to be urgent. Now, if I was, instead of drinking water, I'm drinking beer or I'm drinking juice or I'm putting stuff in my body that's not going to give me the right type of energy, I wouldn't be able to perform at the same level. Why? Because I'm setting myself up to fail. You got to set yourself up for success. So over here at Work on Your Game and at my event, Work on Your Game Live, we're going to talk about this a lot, is that you got to set yourself up for success by strategically putting the pieces in place that allow you to do the thing that you want to do. See, many people, they set a goal and they say, I want to do this thing. I want to do X, Y, Z. And then they just focus on doing X, Y, Z. And what you really need to be focusing on is what are the things that come before X, Y, Z that make it easy for X, Y, Z to happen. So if you go in the alphabet, what are the letters that come before X, Y, Z? So it's T, U, V, and W, right? If you get T, U, V, and W right, then it makes it a lot easier for you to perform and execute X, Y, Z. So that you don't, instead of focusing on X, Y, Z, hey, well, how can I do these things that come before it so it's easy for me to do that? For example, if I want to go out and I'll give you an example actually today. I went out this morning, I ran 7 miles this morning. And if I want to run 7 miles tomorrow morning, you know what's one of the best things that I can do is not just focus on running 7 miles tomorrow morning. It's what am I doing today? What am I eating for dinner tonight? What am I putting in my body tonight? How much sleep am I getting tonight? What quality of recovery did I do today as far as putting ice on my legs, doing foam rolling, doing stretching, getting in the jacuzzi? Am I doing all the things that set me up for success tomorrow so that tomorrow the work that I want to do will be easier to do? I got a pause connection. This is how you set yourself up for success, is that what is the work that comes before the work that makes the work easy? So you look at someone like, to give an example, that all you can probably follow, a guy like LeBron James. You know, the story has been circulated many times. The guy spends 7 figures a year on his body, right? And I believe it because we can see he's been in the NBA for 20 years and he's still one of the best players in the NBA. That is not luck. That's not talent. That's effort and time and investment put into his body so he can do what he does. The reason he can perform at that level is because of all the pre-work that he does. It's what he does before the games. It's what he does in between the games that allows him to get on the court during the game and do the thing that he does. The challenge for a lot of people, and we'll just use LeBron as a metaphor here, is that you see somebody doing something, ABC, and they're doing it really well and they're getting the result. You're like, I want to do the same thing that this person's doing. And then you go copy the thing that you see them doing. But what you don't know is what they did before that. That's the part that you don't know about. That's the part that allows ABC to look easy. But if you don't know about ABC, that's the underlying strategy in the system. And you just copy ABC, you're copying the tactics, but you don't understand the strategy and you damn sure don't understand the principles. This is the part that you invest in. See, it's not the tactics. The tactics is stuff you can see. You go on somebody's Instagram and see their tactics. You can see what they're doing. But if you don't know the strategy underneath the tactics and you don't know the principles that govern the strategy, then copying the tactics are not going to get you the outcome that you want. This is the reason why you invest in yourself, folks. This is the reason why you go to events, you hire coaches, you join programs, you get into masterminds, so you can find out what's the underlying stuff that you don't see. That's the stuff that makes it work. So when I talk about strategizing for energy, again, I said strategizing, not being an energy tactician. All right. So a tactic for energy is that you go to 7-Eleven and buy yourself a Red Bull and drink it and then say, all right, I'm gonna have high energy. All right. That's not it. All right. What you need to do is figure out what's the underlying things that allow the activity to be easy and look easy, even though it's not easy. That's the strategies. All right. And this is the stuff that you invest in, folks. You're not investing in just getting information. You're investing in the strategies. You're investing in the principles. And guess what? And Work on Your Game Live, we're going to be talking about this a lot. The principles, the strategies that lead to the tactics. Again, the tactics are the stuff that you can see. When you see someone doing something, those are the tactics. Those are the things you can see it. I see he did this. I see she did that. I see they're doing this. All right. Those are the things that people end up copying, but that's an inaccurate formula. Copying tactics is a bad idea. What you need to figure out is what is the underlying strategy, and then what are the principles that govern it. Then do those things in that order. Principles, strategies, tactics in that order. But again, you can't see the principles and the strategies. You can only see the tactics. So this topic about strategizing for your energy. All right. It's hard to be urgent when you're tired. It's hard to be urgent when you're not interested in your work, when you're doing something that's just not invigorating or activating for you. So think about these things when it comes to your energy. How much sleep are you getting? What are you putting in your body? You got to organize your work. So you're doing the most important things first. So if you have something that's mentally taxing, you should be starting your day with that when your energy is at its highest point, usually in the morning for some people. Some people's in the evening. Your energy today, folks, is a reflection of what you did yesterday. It's not a reflection of what's happening right now. It's a reflection of what you did to set yourself up. So you got to make good pre-decisions so that the later decisions become easy. Again, T, U, V, and W make it easy for you to execute on X, Y, and Z. It's not X, Y, and Z. So if you're having trouble executing on X, Y, and Z, don't look at X, Y, and Z and think that something's wrong with them. No, something's wrong with T, U, V, and W. That's the part we got to address. Challenge for many people is that when X, Y, and Z is not working, they start looking at X, Y, and Z and asking themselves, well, what's wrong with these things? Nothing. You're asking yourself the wrong. Pause connection again. So what you need to do, instead of asking yourself that bad question, is ask yourself a better question. What are the things that go before that make this easy? And again, at my next event, the link is right there. If you're watching on Facebook, the link's in the comment. If you're watching on Instagram, it's right in the pinned comment, workonyourgame.live. Go to that website and get your ticket to my event. There's also the link in my bio. That event is taking place February 3rd and 4th. That's a Friday and a Saturday here in Miami, Florida, 4 weeks from now. You need to be in the room for this event. I guarantee you it'll be worth it. If you like what I'm talking about here, I'm just giving you the surface stuff. But when we go deep into it, getting the hot seats and all that stuff, 2 full days in depth, this is what you're going to get. Point number 3. We are talking about how to strategize and structure for being more urgent in your life so you can get more done because the amount of time you have ain't changing. Number 3, you got to make commitments. Now, this is a discipline point. Making commitments. What does a commitment mean? Commitment means something that you are telling yourself or you're telling others that you're going to get done and you're giving your word. And like, what was that guy's name? Tony Montana said, all I got is my balls and my word. So you got to commit to getting certain things done in a certain amount of time, not just getting them done in a certain amount of time. So this afternoon, for example, I was finishing up sending out the printings for the Masterclass Black Book, not this one, but the next month one is going to be going out to everybody who's a member of my university. And I told myself I'm going to get this done in an hour. I got an hour to get finished with what I was doing. I already had most of the pieces already set up. Like I just told you, I already had the pre-work was already done. All the pieces are set up and I'm going to have somebody on my staff take care of it moving forward. But I just wanted to do the first 1 or 2 just to make sure we had the right process. But I told myself I got until it's 4:30. I think it was 3 o'clock. I got till 3 o'clock to get this done. And after 3 o'clock, this needs to be done. Now, why do that? Why make this arbitrary deadline for myself? Because here's why. If I had a boss and I was working at a job and the boss said, hey, Mr. Baldwin, have that thing done by 3 o'clock. I ain't got no choice but to have it done by 3 o'clock. Because if I come up short on a deadline too many times with a boss, what happens? All right, any of you ever had a job, you know what happens. You get fired. All right, you lose your job. You lose your income if you don't do what you're supposed to do. You go to court and the judge says do something and you don't do it, what happens? You go to jail. Or you're with your parents growing up and your parents say do something and you don't get it done, what happens? You get your ass whooped or you get grounded. You end up on punishment. So the same respect that you would show to in school, teacher says do something, you don't do it, what you get? You get a failing grade. So the same respect you would show to your boss, to your teachers, to the judge, to your parents, show that same respect to yourself. Again, this is a discipline point. If you can honor a deadline when another person gives it to you, what's stopping you from creating and honoring a deadline when you give it to yourself? Now, this is why I have my 30 Days of Discipline course out. I put a link. There's a link. It should be in my story. It absolutely is in my story. I talked about it earlier today. That course is available until 11:59 tonight. We got a special price on it, 77% off. All you got to do is go to workonyourgame.com/30. Workonyourgame.com/3030. That's where you can get the 30 Days to Discipline course. I'll put that in the comment section. But that's the discipline point. Discipline point is about just understanding that you got to make commitments to yourself the same way that when other people, can everybody hear me? Have no choice but to follow through on it. You got to follow through on the commitments that you make to yourself. And when you're able to do that, that's when your level of discipline goes up, and that's when your performance goes up. But you got to make this choice. This is a decision right here. So commit to other people. If that will help you, commit to somebody else that you're going to get something done. Tell your friends. Post it on your Facebook. Post to your close, if you have some close friends or you have somebody around you who can hold you accountable, anybody in your life who can hold you accountable and tell you the truth to your face, tell that person that you're going to do something. Tell that person that, look, I'm going to send them $500 on PayPal and say, look, if I don't get this done by this date, keep the $500. And if I get it done, send me my $500 back. Now that's a commitment, or whatever amount of money makes you nervous. It might be $5,000 for some of you. It might be $10 for some of you. But the hardest commitment to keep is the ones that you make to yourself for many people. So again, show yourself that exact same respect, because you would not no-show on a commitment to your boss because you'll get fired, to your parents because you'll get grounded, to the judge because you'll go to jail, to your teachers because you'll get a failing grade. You wouldn't no-show on a commitment to any of those people. Any of you who's a business person, entrepreneur, you can't no-show on a commitment to one of your customers or clients, all right? Because they're going to ask for their money back. All right, now you don't have a business. All right, now you don't have any customers. They're going to buy from you again because you didn't show up. So you can't no-show on all these other people in your life. Why do you no-show on yourself? Tell me how that makes sense. Make that make sense to me. So if you want to have more urgency in life, again, you got to give yourself deadlines. You got to give yourself commitments, and you have to actually stick to and live up to the commitments that you've made to yourself. This is a discipline point. And again, get my 30 Days to Discipline course. You can send me a DM and ask me for the link if you don't have a link already, or just look at my story. I talked about it earlier today. That course, again, the offer expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight. So if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook on the replay, this expires on January 7th. So this link will not be available after January 7th, 2023. 30 Days of Discipline. Again, send me a DM. I'll hit you back with the link. But you got until 11:59 p.m. tonight to take advantage of that course offer. So these three things, we'll go over these three things. I'm going to take a couple questions. I'm going to talk about Work on Your Game Live. So we're talking about how to structure urgency into your life. Number one, you got to watch the clock. Anything you want to get better at or have more of in life, you got to be paying attention to it. You want more money, you got to watch the money. You want more energy, you got to watch your energy. You want more time, or you want to have more use of your time, you got to pay attention to what you're doing with the time. Because you can't, unlike money, you can't make more time appear. You can make more money appear. You can't do it with time. You just have to make better use of your time. Number two, strategize for energy. It's hard to be urgent when you're tired or uninterested in your work. So don't just look at the tactics of what you see other people doing. You got to figure out the underlying strategies and the principles that govern those strategies. And usually you have to get on the inside to do that. You can't figure these things out by looking at somebody's Instagram page or a TikTok post. Number three, make commitments. This is a discipline point. Same way you would make commitments to your parents, teachers, or any authority figure in your life, make those same commitments to yourself and treat yourself with the same respect that you would treat any authority figure that you have or have had ever in your life. If you start treating yourself with that same level of respect, you'll have a lot more urgency. If you just do that alone, you have a lot more urgency in what you do in life. So with all that said, my next event, Work on Your Game Live, is taking place February 3rd and 4th here in Miami. I keep getting these pause connections on Instagram. Miami, Florida, February 3rd and 4th. The link is right there, Work on Your Game Live. If this is intriguing to you, if this is interesting to you, if this is eye-opening to you, if you got any insights or good ideas from this or something that activated you, gave you something that you can use, Go to workonyourgame.live, get your ticket to my event. It's taking place February 3rd and 4th. You can split the payment up. If you want to hold on some cash, you can split the payments up. Well, you can pay by month to just pay it off, but you can still be at the event. You'll have a full ticket just like everybody else. Again, it's at workonyourgame.live. It's February 3rd and 4th. We're going to be talking mindset, strategy, systems, and execution at that event. 2 full days. You're going to have hot seats there. So if you have any pressing needs or pressing challenges, you'll have an opportunity to be in front of the room, in front of everybody. And I'm going to coach you right there in front of everybody in the room at Work on Your Game Live. Again, here, Miami, Florida, February 3rd and 4th. This is the best investment that you can make, an amazing investment that you can make into your personal and professional development for 2023. The great thing about what we do over here at Work on Your Game Live is the principles that I share and the strategies that I share. You can apply these at work and you can apply them at home. All right. So this is not limited to just life stuff. It's not limited to just career stuff. So I had somebody who was texting me. They were saying, well, Dre, I'm not an entrepreneur, so I don't know if I can come to your event. And I said, well, hell yeah, you can come to my event because you are still trying to improve yourself as a person, even if you're not trying to build a business. And even if you do have a job, you still want to grow in your job, right? You want to give more value to the job that you work at so that the job will give you more value. So no matter what you do for a living, if you are serious about improving, if you're serious about getting better, if you want to be in a better position a year from now than you are today, then Work on Your Game Live is the place for you. All right. You do not have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to have a product or service to sell. You just got to be serious about wanting to get better, because that's what we're going to be doing over these 2 days. You will get better out of what you get from this event. We just sent the program, the physical program that you're going to have. We just sent that to the printer just yesterday, as a matter of fact. So we're about to print some copies up of that. I'll show you all that once it comes out. It'll be a couple weeks before we get it, but it'll be on time for the event. So again, that's at workonyourgame.live. If anybody has a question about anything I've talked about here, put it in the comments right now and I'll address any questions or comments or concerns about what we talked about. Be Conscious says, interesting way of keeping track of commitment, a holding fee. Yeah. Now you got to have somebody in your life who you respect enough and has your respect enough that they can actually hold you accountable to that. So somebody who you give them the 500 and say, all right, if I don't get this done, keep the 500, and they can actually keep it. You can't like bully them and take the money back. You got to be somebody who can say, oh no, you ain't getting that money back. So that is just one way of holding yourself accountable, but also really just looking at yourself and saying, look, I need to give myself that same level of accountability that somebody else would give to me. Again, if you ever had a job in your life, right? They hold you accountable, don't they? So Relentless Wealth says, planning your day the night before. Absolutely. Yeah. So you know what you're doing ahead of time. And this is one of the ways that you can, again, structure urgency in your life. And all of these things, everything that is done consistently, folks, anything that's done consistently and successfully can be structured, and it can be organized. It can be systematized. It can be strategized for. But this requires a certain level of thinking. It requires certain types of frameworks for you to be able to do this. Somebody says it ain't all inclusive for room. There's no room and board. This is not college. No, you get your own. Your travel and accommodations. You take care of. The ticket price is just the ticket. There's no room and board here. This ain't a dorm. But good question. All right, so again, workonyourgame.live. That's where you get the ticket to the event. Again, that's taking place February 3rd and 4th, 2023. That's about a month from now, less than a month from now, Miami, Florida. Anybody else got a question, put it in the comment section. I'll take a question or two more if there is one, and then we will wrap this up. Again, 30 days to discipline. Today is the last day to get access to that course. It's 77% discount off the manufacturer suggested retail price. You can get that at workonyourgame.com/30. Go to my story. You'll see me talking about it and you'll see the link to that. And Work on Your Game Live. That link is in my bio as well. So when this live is over, if you don't have a link, it's in my bio on Instagram. It is in the comments on Facebook. And also you can text me. Let me put my text number in here just in case any of you got a question for me. You can either hit me in the DM or you can text me. Let's see if I can get this text number. My text number is, what's going on here? Every time I try to change this, sometimes the typing gets janky. There it is, my text number. My text number is 305-384-6894. So all you have a phone, That's everybody. You can text me at that number right there. I do actually respond to my texts. I do read my texts. So if you got a question or about anything that you didn't ask me right here, you can send me a text message. I will respond to your text, and you'll be getting my daily motivation message that I send out every day for free to everyone who's in my text community at that number right there. So again, workonyourgame.live. That's where you get your ticket to my event. It was well said. I really do text back. That is a fact. I really do text back. And sometimes I initiate the text. Sometimes I send texts ahead of time. And again, every day, daily motivation I send out for free to everyone who's in my text community. So everybody got that? All right. Any questions? I don't see any other questions coming through. So I appreciate everybody's time here. We got exactly 30 minutes. Perfect timing. Y'all have a great Saturday. Get 30 days of discipline. Again, you got till 11:59 p.m. Eastern tonight before that offer expires. Workonyourgame.live. Get your ticket to the event. That is, again, workonyourgame.live. Link in my bio. Also, you can text me if you got any questions about anything. My number is 305-384-6894. Everybody have a great Saturday. We out of here.